All my efforts to step away from BMW company, leave it aside, and never ever deal with it, don't seem to succeed. For many years. A famous Russian blogger is driving his golden BMW, which recently participated in a car exhibition. And such a bright automobile is really hard to miss. All these years, I really tried to get off the hook. I tried to switch to Mercedes. I drove all the best cars that exist in the world. But no other automobile turned to be able to give me what this car is able to. And I'd like to floor it right now and make it go sideways and make so much smoke that it will be able to cover the distance to Germany. But unfortunately right now I cannot do that because this automobile is still on its test run in. For more than 10 years I've been friends with Balt Auto Trade BMW. And all of my friends and fans of D3 show used to buy their BMWs at this dealership, and for all this time, for 10 years, I never got a single penny, neither from the Balt Auto Trade dealership, neither from BMW. The only thing I got for advertising them were just some small bonuses and discounts, but it's not like 50% or 30%. Nothing like that, forget about it. I used to pay for everything, while they used to earn millions of dollars. And I actually used to feel okay about it. But today I don't think I'm ready to be same altruistic as I used to be. That's why I wanted to find a dealership with the best price. A dealership that would treat me the way any customer deserves. With respect. And don't forget about my friend Pashtet. And he does lots of work with my cars. But anyway, I tried to find a dealership that is worth to be advised to a friend. So I took a long tour around BMW dealerships. And most of them actually turned to be pretty good. But the dealership with the very best services turned to be the BMW Rolf Himki. And that is why I decided to buy my BMW CS at their place. And I was looking forward to this car much more worse than to a Rolls-Royce. I swear to God. I was waiting for it and thinking about it every day. I was looking forward to my Rolls-Royce, but not like this, even despite it cost like 3 times more than this car. But I was expecting for this car so bad, because for me a Rolls-Royce is a thing for my ordinary life. And this is my madness, a car that would share all of these split seconds, share all of these insanely fast, bright and short episodes of life with me. These short episodes of life that make my heart jump out of my chest and make my palms sweaty. And now finally the BMW company seemed to make the fastest automobile within their history. Meet the Bmw M5 Cs. Right now I'm full of emotions, and the only reason why I'm not screaming as a little girl is that I feel myself as a little boy at a birthday party. And some of the guys started to fight, whose names were Audi RS6, a Mercedes E63 AMG, and a Bmw M5 competition. And the Bmw is the toughest guy. And he beat the shit out of all the other guys, and they're sitting with blue eyes. And the M5 competition is sitting with bloody fists and tries to grab a piece of cake with his hand. And he wants to get the very best piece of cake with the cherry on its top. And suddenly I come in. And my name is a Bmw M5 Cs. And give a smack upside the head of a competition, a slap, for an E63, and a finger flag for an RS6. I take the cherry and leave the kitchen. Why I didn't buy myself an M5 F90? Did I like that car? Yes, of course. But I wanted to have something extraordinary. I was expecting for something unusual and special, and I saw lots of them being tuned. But I was expecting for a new engine that was about to come out soon. And when they first presented this car, and it had the 4.4-liter engine, I became upset, because I was expecting it to have a new engine, the one they used to talk about a lot, and they called that engine S68, a 4-liter engine that was supposed to give the same amount of horsepower, the engine that they really should have done long ago. But when I saw this interior, it turned to be fucking astonishing. I don't know how BMW did it, but it's the most comfortable sports seat my ass has ever been sitting on. For a fat guy like me, it's incredibly easy to get into it, and I fit it perfectly. It's incredibly comfortable. I already drove it to St. Petersburg and back. I drove it to Sochi and back, and I drove it to Sochi like in one shot. This is perfect. Intended to buy an M8. I really wanted it a lot. And we actually took one of those for a test drive. We took it from the dealership and it was a green one. And we did some cool drifting on it. Just check this out. I was intending to buy that car, but I didn't, and I'm gonna tell you why. Not long ago I was mocking one of my colleagues. I'm not even sure if I can call him a colleague, because he is just a blogger. So I was wondering whether he's ready to post a video where he f***ed up really bad, because usually they post only cool stuff and try to hide all of their f***ups. So right now I'm gonna show you a secret video. No one have ever seen it before, and all you have to know is that a very famous blogger was smashing a wonderful automobile, simply because this moron doesn't know how to drive and doesn't know anything about cars. I don't even know why people give their cars to such idiots. He managed to crash it on the empty road. Just watch the video and you will understand that this man is dangerous, and you should never let him drive such powerful, fast and dangerous automobiles. This dude doesn't know how to drive them. But this video is not only about bad driving and a stupid incompetent blogger. It's about not knowing how to deal with cars at all, because they not only broke the crankcase and everything beneath the car, violating the car geometry. After all, they didn't shut down the engine and left the car idle for 15 or even 20 minutes. So in the end, the repairment of this car costed about 40,000 bucks, and it was being repaired at the official dealership in Moscow. So despite I really wanted to buy this car, There was one little thing that prevented me from doing it, because I realized that people who buy these cars, they buy them just for showing off and they don't know how to drive, so it was not the issue of the car, it was the matter of reputation. Though I consider this car incredibly beautiful. It is really hard to call the relationships between me and the car I drive just a test drive. Let's find out what kind of a beast is this. This is one of the most unique and extraordinary automobiles I have ever tested in D3, and perhaps ever driven in my life. And right now, this automobile has 5,000 miles of mileage, and lots of people ask me to shoot the test drive faster, saying, come on man, come on. But I didn't want to tell you about this automobile before I get fully acquainted with everything it can do, before I really know what it is, because I need to know what to expect from this car. And I can tell you this car is really delicate, and it really does have lots of small details and nuances. And I had not only to see it all, but also to touch everything and understand how it works. I had to use it. But the first thing I had to do with this car after I bought it was to make a test run in correctly. So I drove this car to St. Petersburg to shoot a video. We decided to check for some sights in this city. Yeah, man! People say your potato is amazing. We're going to come there and show him our Bmw CS. This is not a photo, this is a video. Take him. It's time to feed this beast. Dude, you're a bastard. No, you didn't do that because you fell down. Why the f are you filming it, bro? Because that's a backstage. While falling asleep, I imagined myself driving it. And I actually do that all the time, and I already told you about that. And yesterday, I was doing the same thing, imagining how I'm driving it, even despite I had been driving it for 600 miles, and I'm tired as hell. And as soon as I realized that, I stopped myself and gave myself a break, because I already own it. It's standing behind my window, and it's also tired. So leave the car alone, man. Just calm down and go to sleep. Because in one day you managed to buy this car and do all the documents and cover it with tape in a record time. And after that, do 600 miles on it. This car must be shocked right now. After I came back, we did the first maintenance, and it still has all this virgin tape on the display and other stuff. But before I decided to drive it to St. Petersburg, I went to Brooklyn's detailing and put such an incredibly hard task before them that nearly blew their mind. They fully covered this car with a protective film in less than 3 hours. Can you imagine that? That's incredibly fast. I swear to God that's true. And every single element is still perfect. Nothing fell off, and they didn't have to fix it anywhere after my long trip. Every time you do this procedure, you have to come back in a week and fix some small issues. But these guys didn't have to do that. Every single man who worked on this car did this job with all of his love and accuracy. I simply want to applaud for these guys, because Brooklyn made a masterpiece. 7 years ago I got these logos as a present from a fan, and he said that someday, when you buy the most desirable and the fastest car ever, you should put it on it. Most likely it's going to be a BMW, that's why I made them round. And today, after 6 or maybe 7 years, I've bought a CS, and I feel the time has come. I don't remember your name, bro, but thank you. Now you know I kept it for all of these years. And when I bought my BMW 7 I thought about it, but no. Then I bought a Rolls-Royce. Wait a second, why didn't you put it on a golden X5? Because I was already owning it. And there were plenty of other stuff on that car. It's 5:26, we're done with washing and started disassembling it. At 6:24 we finished disassembling the car and started to cover it with a protective film. Thus the clean time of covering is 2 hours and 24 minutes. That's even faster than we supposed. That's only the covering, and the full job took about 2 hours and 51 minutes. That's without the washing. And it's 3:17 with washing. Dude, thanks a lot. This place is amazing. And all the guys who work here are very talented. That's an incredible job and you may be proud of it. I guess at some moment, when they understood that S68 is not ready yet, some guy in a very expensive suit came from the 5th floor down to the 2nd and said, "You guys did a pretty good job, because you've made a BMW M5 F90, a car that completely destroyed Mercedes and was able to destroy absolutely anyone. But we still have some money left, and we want you to make a car that will completely bury Mercedes." So they took a BMW M5 competition and provided you a choice, saying, you can buy either a regular M5 competition or a car that costs 30% more, and it won't have any options. It's completely empty as a racing car. It doesn't have any door closers. They simply don't put such things on this car, because they weigh about 2 kilos each. It doesn't have any double glazing, and it's impossible even to order such an option. And also this car has different seats. The regular seat weighs about 70 kilograms. The one that have the massage options and the ventilation and all that other stuff. This car doesn't have a Bang & Olufsen multimedia system, because otherwise it will have lots of speakers and subwoofers. This car doesn't have any opening sunroof, same as it doesn't have any hitch. This car doesn't have any extra proximity alert sensors, doesn't have anything like that, and it doesn't have any active cruise control. And this car doesn't have that trunk opening system that catches your leg movement. And the main thing, it doesn't have any noise insulation. And that is why every single stone or anything that hits your fenders from the inside can easily be heard inside of the car. The only thing they cared about was the weight. Every single part of this car they tried to make lighter. That is why this car has none of that stuff you can find inside of a competition. It's empty. After I have driven a CS for the first time, I understood this automobile is just a racing car. A competition is a car you can use every day. You can comfortably use it for long distance trips. You can easily live with this car every day. But a CS is not an everyday car. It is absolutely not. A BMW M5 competition was made for city driving, and sometimes perhaps you could drive it to the racing track. But a CS is a car for a racing track, and only sometimes perhaps you may drive it in the city. Some people may think that this car is very similar to a BMW competition, an M5 competition, but it's not. And the devil is in details, and you can find these details in every single element of this car, even in the spoiler. And if you look at the spoiler that is placed on the trunk of a BMW M5 competition, you'll see it stands like this. Remember its position, how and where it stands. And now look at CS. They had to move it, and I assure you they had to do that for a reason, even despite their having the same shape. And if we talk about the appearance of this car, it's simply amazing. I like it a lot. It's just a pure breed, strong and muscular and insanely beautiful automobile. Incredibly beautiful. And this car has an interesting hood. It lets it breathe, and it was made in such a smart way that no water gets in there, but all the hot air easily comes out. That's a very smart design. But what I like about it most is that it's so balanced, and it suits the style of the car. By the way, the paint of this car is also unique. They painted only 3 colors. They are the glossy gray color, the matte gray color, and also there is a matte green color. These colors look amazing, though even after we covered the car with tape, it's still looking amazing, it's still looking cool. And right after I saw it in tape, the first thing I asked Pashtet was, dude, what if we take an ordinary BMW M5 and buy the same body kit for it and make the same interior? He said that it's gonna cost us about 50 or maybe even 70,000 bucks. This car is lighter, and they say it's lighter about 70 kilograms, But we don't know what particular parts are lighter in this car. They don't tell how they win the 70 kilograms. And when you order yourself a BMW M5 Competition without any options, it weighs different. But when you order double glazing, for example, with heavy massage seats and cool sound system, when you buy a car with the fattest configuration possible, it won't be 70 kilograms different. That car will be much more heavier. I know the guys who weighed a BMW M5 Cs, and they got the weight of an 1800 kilograms. Technically, it's almost the same identical car, and even the engine is almost the same. But there are some slight differences between a regular M5 Competition and the restyled automobile, such as different positions of the sensors. But the main thing here is, this car has a different cylinder group. It looks like they started to make something like honing inside of the cylinders, but when we finally got to the software of the car, I saw Pashtet's eyes turned this big and round. Because he thought they were not going to make lots of changes in the software, and he expected it to be pretty similar to a BMW F90 Competition. But it turned out that this car has a completely different software. And also we thought that this car, same as the restyled one, is going to have the transmission from BMW M8, and again we were wrong. This car has the newest transmission from BMW possible, and this transmission became even faster. Some people often tell that I don't like sport events, but that's not true. I do like sport events like Unlim and others. I do like racing events, I do like drifting events, but that's not my favorite type of event. What I like is, for example, a race from here to Munich. And if you want to compete me, let's race as soon as they open the borders. Let's find out who can beat me in this type of sport. Such a race shows not only the endurance and the reliability of the car, but also the level of the driver. It shows his skill and attentiveness, and shows his skill in the traffic. And racing on a straight with blowing turbines, just driving straight in a quarter mile, well, please don't get offended, but for me it looks like children playing in the kindergarten. On a highway, any of your mistakes may lead to death immediately. You have no rights for mistakes. So for me, only the highway can show your real skill, experience, and professionalism of the driver. Well, I'm sorry, not the driver, the pilot. That's why I'm looking forward to the moment when they open the borders, because I want to show you the new version of my Smotra runs across the whole world. And also there's Formula 1, and the F1 racing is the different world. It is so unique, and I have never driven any of these cars, and frankly speaking, I have never been to any real F1 event. Unfortunately, I only saw it on the screen. Anyway, driving such a car and all these cars in general has nothing to do at all with any production car. Even if we talk about supercars or even racing cars, that's the different world. These cars have highest technologies, and only after years these technologies sometimes get to stock cars. And I'm talking about it only because I was pretty surprised when an F1 pilot appreciated my choice. Who else but you should I listen to? I don't know any more competent racer than you in all Russian autosport. Thanks for that. I know lots of stupid bloggers or lots of haters. Unfortunately, there are lots of people who don't understand when you make a mistake, especially when you represent your country on some sport event. They don't understand that making mistakes is okay. Your mistakes is your experience, and it's so sad that people don't understand it. And when you win something, they praise you and love you. But as soon as you do any mistake, they pour a bucket of shit on your head. You're welcome. I don't understand why people are so ungrateful. Because I'm the one who's grateful. And I have a question. What do you think about this BMW CS? This is a lightened version, almost a racing car, made specially for track. What I mean is that the regular M5 Competition is made for the city, and maybe sometimes for track. But this is a track car, and maybe sometimes for the city. What I want to start with is that I really like M5s. I used to have lots of them. I used to have regular M5s and competitions. I mean the previous body. I like this body in general, and I love how it drives, especially the competition. I've always liked the appearance of these cars. I like how it looks from all the sides. Well, unfortunately, there are big troubles with autosport in our country. I think we have lots of very talented drivers, but they have no place to develop their skills. Everything is closed. Well, we're trying to save autosport. That's good you are doing it. Yeah. That's awesome. At least someone's working on it. Doing our best. That's cool. Trying to break the system. Be careful with that, I already tried it. Oh, it looks like, I used to have a yellow one, maybe you remember it. I used to have the yellow M5 competition. Yeah, sure, I remember it. Yeah, so I've drove it like a lot. And there were same holes there. Did you like these seats? These seats are my favorite. Oh, really? I love the positioning. Frankly speaking, I thought my ass would not fit it. I thought it would be too big for these seats. But it seems like my size is the last size that can... Do they really have size that can fit these seats? By the way, you can pump it from the sides. You can pump it from the sides and it will hold you tighter. I don't like the seats in a regular M5. Oh, really? I'm being serious. So you mean you don't need all this comfort? Well, I cannot say that they are like, that comfortable, but I don't like the geometry and positioning. Maybe this is my racing experience talking, but the angle of positioning in the car is very important for me. So no matter how many times I try to sit the right way in a regular car, it just never worked for me. How do you think, who's a potential buyer of this modification of M5? Well, first of all, I would buy it for myself, simply because when I drive around the city, and I'm not talking about fast driving right now, okay? Because even a regular M5 is quite a fast car, and you can drive it much faster than is actually allowed. And me, for example, it doesn't make me feel high from fast driving. What I enjoy most is the steering. What is really important for me is the feeling when I turn the wheel. And it doesn't matter how fast I drive, I simply love the feeling of a very good steering. And the regular M5 has the less of it, and the competition has more of it. And this car, I guess, is the next level. So the steering is the most important thing for me in a car. Whoa, I can even hear the stones hitting the fenders. Talking about my first impressions, this steering wheel is very sharp. Actually, lots of cars have a very sharp steering. But I like this feedback, I like how responsive it is. It feels like it's a one simple mechanism that connects the steering wheel and the wheels, and it works so fast. The response is incredibly fast. That's exactly what I was talking about while driving slow. There is no need to drive fast, and it feels so nice to turn the steering wheel. It's very cool. When a car gives you pleasure with such small details, I like it so much. And all these small details make the general impression about the car, whether you like it or not. And so far I like it a lot. Well, I can summarize that this car turns to be very cool and very alive. It's very interesting. And at the same time, this car is very roomy, and that's very good if that's your only car. If you need to go somewhere with your family, it's all-wheel drive, so probably that's not the car you would like to use every day. Especially you'd like to save it from winter, but you can always place all your family here. And when the weather is fine, like today for example, you can always come to some racing track and try to make your best lap. So if we talk about the only car in the family, the only car you own, this car will probably be your best option. Because with the one single automobile you get a sedan, which is pretty comfortable for your ordinary everyday needs, and that's actually very important today. And at the same time, you can make a performance at the racing track whenever you want. But that's not even the main thing, because that's not the only car that lets you do that. The main thing here is the feeling you get while driving this car. Because when I drive in the city, I don't care how fast this car accelerates. Whether it's 2.9 to 60 or 3.5 to 60, I really don't care how fast it accelerates. But what is really important for me is the feelings and impressions I get from driving this car. And it doesn't matter whether I'm breaking the speed limit or not. And it doesn't matter whether I'm breaking the road rules or not. The only thing that really matters for me is the way it runs into the turn. And despite some car may run into this corner even faster, it doesn't mean that I will like the feeling from steering it, cause at the same time it can make me feel myself a passenger, and it doesn't bring any emotions. And as I have said before, for any pilot and any racer, the impressions from steering is the main thing. And this car combines all of these three very important components. It's practical and comfortable at the same time, and without a doubt this car is very powerful. And finally it brings emotions. So driving this car, even on a low speed, brings lots of pleasure, and I started enjoying it coming out from boxes. I enjoy even the regular steering movements. You simply feel how cool it is. I wanted to put 21-inch wheels, but now don't do that. Yeah, that would be a mistake. That's right, because the wheels are one of the damping elements. It's not only the suspension, it's also the wheels. It's a very popular and constant mistake. People like putting bigger wheels because it looks much cooler. Yeah, but the steering becomes much worse than on any smaller stock wheels. And also, lots of people care only about the numbers, but they forget about the impressions from acceleration. And the sound is also very important for making the impression. And that's actually the thing I was missing when I was driving my M5. I didn't feel there was enough sound. Well man, thanks a lot. You're always welcome, Eric. I wish you good luck in sport and always remember that we support you. And if you do not succeed, we're always there to say, come on, we're sure next time you'll kill them. Well, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. All the cool guys from autosport world, I mean the real racers like Sergei Sirotkin, Tsarigradsev, Gocha. By the way, he's a world champion. All of these guys, they appreciated my choice because they know what kind of a monster it is. When I finally got this car, I didn't like the exhaust system, and now I wanted to change it for a Krapovich one. But right until the moment I met the guys from Taycan company, these guys do one of the coolest exhaust system in Russian Federation, and they are as good as a Krapovich. So I put it on my car, and that's how many kilograms I won. We just weighed all the exhaust systems, and the original weighs 40 kilograms and 300 grams. Wait, why so much? Well, it's with all the pipes. Oh, I got it. We weighed all of it with pipes, because we are changing everything. So it used to be 40 kilograms and now it's only 21. Wow, that's not bad. How much is that? 18 kilograms. Not bad at all. Actually, we never pay attention to how many things we have in our trunk, for example, or on your back seat. But that really influences the acceleration. And that's a really serious influence. And this car is a nice example. This car is much more faster than an M5 competition. Simply because it's much lighter. Wait, is that a new cooling system? Well, just the normal people, they bring their car and leave it, and it just stands there waiting for its turn and cools down. And only the next day the guys start working on it. But it doesn't work for me, because I always come and say, guys, we have to do it fast. That's insane. This sound is insane. They said it sounds shitty. Well, f them too. Do you like it? Sure I do, it sounds awesome.
Чисто нырнули на бумере с плавником ахиллем. Это дерьмо кусает зубами питбуля. Вы как-то...
When I bought this car, it had brand new wheels with Pirelli Corsa tires. And as I have said before, these wheels are brand new. They have just started to produce them this year. And they made the car stick to the ground. It simply sticks to the ground, and the handling was insanely sharp. And I was insanely surprised when literally after only 2,000 miles, these wheels got completely worn out. They were absolutely dead, as if they have run 12,000 miles instead of 2,000. And I need to point out that I never did a single drift or lunge on this automobile, and still have never put it sideways so far. Same as I've never launched it, and later I'll explain you why. So then I put Michelin on it, and then I started flooring it. And everyone praises this Michelin 4S. Everyone says they're the best tires in the world, and I also thought the same. Right before I put these Michelin 4S tires on this car. Because I witnessed several situations when these tires couldn't hold the car on the road. You may not believe me, but that's true. And it happened because it's too light. I don't know where is that red line, but Michelin 4S don't have that grip. So only today I finally understood why those guys from BMW asked Pirelli to make the wheels for them that live only for 2,000 miles. These guys managed to create such a compound that is able to grip the road the way this car needs to. I have Michelin tires on my X5M, but the X5M is a completely different car. This car is much heavier, and it makes much more pressure on the road surface, and the tires are wider. So Michelin is the best choice for that car. It holds it perfectly and it lives much longer. But in case with this car, I'm sure it should run Pirelli tires only. No other tires will give it same grip. It's perfect for track. These tires are not overinflated, the pressure is just perfect. We've checked it like 100 times, and the wear is the same on each tire. For you, this is one long movie that you can watch in one shot. But for me, these were days of worrying, and that feeling lasted for too long in my automobile life. And right now I'm feeling myself as a guy who had watched a D3 test drive of a Maybach, and after that he went and bought it. And after that he watched a Camry test drive and also went and bought it. My heart hurts so much, I'm being so upset right now, and everything started with that Tesla Model S Plaid presentation. When I first saw those numbers and tried to somehow comprehend it, it felt like a knife coming through my heart. I'm serious. Even though I understand that a Tesla is a completely unsteerable bastard. Tesla is not a Taycan. And I understand that on a straight this car is going to be as fast as a bullet shot. And I understand it's brand new, it's a new technology, and it's definitely going to cover the distance between Moscow and Volokholamsk. And even back, and it's going to give lots of joy to its owner. It's going to be fun and fast with an insane acceleration. I didn't do a single launch on this car for 5,000 miles, same as I didn't drift it or even spin the wheels. And for first 2,500 miles I've been super gentle with this car. I didn't floor it, I didn't put it sideways, I didn't do anything with it. And I've bought this car for the numbers that the BMW company promised. 3 seconds from 0 to 60. They said a 2.9-3 to 60. Well, that's depending on the conditions. And I didn't buy this car for some unique engine, cause it's not unique actually. And I didn't buy this car for some digital dashboard or some cool wheels or for its appearance or cool holes in the hood. I've bought this car for the numbers the BMW company promised me. But that is what I got.
100. 200 quarter mile. 100. 200 quarter mile.
I was very disappointed. I was so mad and so upset that the same night I posted an advert for the sale, and all of my friends split up into two sides. Some of them called me and told me that I'm insane. They offered me to buy this car and keep it, for I could later take it back if I start missing it. The others told me that I should definitely sell it and buy a Turbo S instead. I said I didn't want to buy a Turbo S because it becomes jumpy on high speed, but they insisted that I almost leave at Pashtet service, because my BMWs constantly die and I have to fix them all the time, and this car is going to live at Pashtet's place too, and I have to admit that that's enough. And at some moment, I recognized that they were right. They are right, that's enough to live in car services, because I already know what will happen if I keep it. Next time, as soon as I come to Pashtet services, we will definitely start tuning it, and we will make chip tuning, that's for sure. And then we will kill this engine, then we'll fix it and chip it once again, and that's definitely not what I've bought this car for, cause it doesn't have any door closers, and it doesn't have any good multimedia system, and no huge comfortable seats. There's no massage option, it's not ventilated and not soft, and it doesn't have any double glazing, that's why it doesn't have any noise insulation, so it's not comfortable. I sacrificed all that in the name of numbers that I was promised. What am I supposed to do with this car? Because I don't want to make a project out of it. I paid my money for it, but I didn't get what I expected. I waited for it so much, and I was so glad when I finally got it, and I've been so gentle with it during the test run in. But what do I get in the end? The numbers I got are unacceptable. It's 24 degrees Celsius in the street, and the time is 10 minutes to 8 p.m. And I'm driving this car calmly at the speed of 53 miles per hour and I'm heartbroken. I'm going to a toll road where I can find a very good and smooth asphalt. My drag stopwatch is ready, I'm all set. And if this automobile doesn't get out of 3 seconds, I'm gonna sell it. It feels so fucking strange. The emotions this car gives me are simply incredible, and the sound of exhaust is... This car makes me feel so confused. It's simply tearing my heart apart. And it hugs the road so well. I'm pulling out the fire extinguisher. I'm pulling out everything I can. And we've just called to Kazakhstan to talk to my friends. Because we know for sure that they have already done a 60 and 295 on the same car, even with non-experienced driver inside. And it had a full tank and it was 30 degrees Celsius. And it's 295 to 60. And that car was having a stock exhaust system and stock tires. So either I'm a goddamn moron who has put here a titanium exhaust system, which is supposed to be lighter, but at the same time worse than anything else. And I filled it with Lukoil gasoline, which is definitely the best in Russian Federation. I know that's an unpaid commercial, no need to thank me guys, it's just the way it is. So as I have said before, I'm pulling out everything, even the fire extinguisher, just everything I can find in the trunk. And if this bitch doesn't get out of 3 seconds, I'm going to sell it. So guys, what's the temperature? It's 20 degrees. We'll add some pressure out of tires. And we've got fuel only for 100 kilometers, about 20 liters. There's no one in the car. And it's completely empty. And the tires this car is running are Michelin 4S. I may assume that we should better put here Pirellis that die in 3,000 miles. And okay, fuck it, I'm ready to do that. But first, let's look at the numbers. And if these numbers turn to be pretty sane, we'll buy another tires. Come on dude, shut down the hood. We're about to start. Any prognosis, guys? Alex? I'd like to get out of 3 seconds. This bitch must be able to do it in 2.8, 2.9. I beg you, please do it at least in 2.95. The engine Sport Plus mode, the suspension Sport Plus mode, the steering Sport mode, DSC off, 4 wheels drive Sport, MX drive. Okay, we're all set. Camera's recording.
60. 100.
Ah, god damn it. God fucking damn it.
60. 100.
Can't believe that's because of the tires.
100.
Fuck. My phone fell down. Let's try to find it. You did it, man! You're out of 3 seconds. I didn't even know I did it because I lost my phone. I send my regards to Litvin. God damn it, you should try it, just touch this tire. Yeah man, I feel it. It's like plasticine. Claire, please delete the advert for the sale. I'll explain it later. God damn it! Okay, 2 people inside.
60. 100.
It's 3.1. Excellent. Get the fuck out of here. 3.1 means you should get the fuck out of here. So is this car able to do 60 in 2.9? Yes, it is. It definitely is. But in order to do that, you have to comply with so many terms, and every time you'll get different numbers, between 2.9 and 3.2, or maybe even 3.3 or worse, and so on and so forth and so on. This car will not do it identically every time as a robot. This car is not going to do that. And on the one hand, I feel like I did it in 2.9, just once in 2.99, at the very edge. But on the other hand, it's just once. But anyway, now I know I can do it. And by the way, this time I felt it spins the rear wheels. This time I really felt it. And it means that Pirelli will definitely help it to win 0.1 second, 100%, or maybe even 0.2 second. I guess one day I will definitely say goodbye to BMW. I can't drive BMWs for all my life. How many tries did I have to do to get out of 3 seconds? For 2 days I was so disappointed. I even put an ad for sailing it. Some people called me and told me I was insane. And my friend Pashtet told me come to my place and I'll make it go 2.5. And all of my friends are having fun right now because it's fucking summer. They're glad and they're smiling, but I'm so fucking pissed off. Because after all, it's me who'll have to fix it all the time. Even despite it being a brand new car, I will have to go to services all the time. Even despite that, because if I'm going to be flooring it, something will definitely die all the goddamn time. And I already know I will be calling Pashtet for help. And in a week I'll be calling my second friend Misha, who helps with finding spare parts. And in a couple of years I'll be calling Bogor, saying what's up dude? My engine's dead, and he's the guy who fixes my dead engines. I told you everything about this car, and I pushed it to its limits. That's why I'm done with it, the test drive is over. But what am I supposed to do with it? If this car didn't get out of 3 seconds today, it would already be sold to my friend Smile, cause he already prepared money for it. But that asshole is not gonna get it, cause it did it in 2.9, 2.99. Even with a guy like me inside, and I weighed 135 kilograms. If one particular thing is going to happen, I will sell it anyway and buy myself another car. And if it's not gonna happen, I'll keep it. And if another thing happens, I'll sell it and take a pause. But that's a secret, at least so far. But right now I'm definitely not selling it, I'm keeping it. Thank you. And I'd like to hear your opinion in the comments below. What should I do? I'm being serious, I really need that. I made a decision to finally say goodbye to BMW. I don't think it's going to be forever, because I really love and respect this brand. Lots of things and memories hold me connected to it. And I still remain an owner of BMW cars. And also I own a Rolls-Royce, which I actually consider a BMW car too. So let's try to summarize this test drive. I'm very sad because I didn't understand the CS at once, and only now I understand that I need a faster car. And it's not the guilt of a CS, it's not a bad automobile. Some people may say that this car is just a marketing, but this car is also a technology. It has a pretty good software, and it has a cool new transmission. It has lots of new stuff. But now I realize that I need a faster car, and I guess I need a supercar. And I'm looking forward to the moment when BMW starts making supercars. I wait for it so bad. I don't know what car I should buy. But definitely I'm going to buy something, and it's going to be faster than 2.9 to 60. I don't see any point of buying a slower or even the same fast automobile as this one, simply because there's no other car that can be better than a BMW within these numbers. So in the end of this test drive, I'd like to advise you something. I have to tell you guys that I may recommend you buying a BMW Competition, but not a CS. You should definitely buy a Competition. Competition is just a little bit slower, but after all, you get comfortable seats, the best configuration, and Bang & Olufsen music. That's an incredibly comfortable automobile that is definitely the best in its class, without any doubts. So just buy a Competition, enjoy it and have fun. And even if you want to make this car faster, you can always tune it and make it almost same fast as a stock CS. That's why right now I'm going to have fun with this BMW M5 Competition in Kazan, because we're at Kazan Ring, where we came with BMW Rolf Himki. But there's one more thing I know. I definitely know that such brand as Mercedes will never forget and never forgive. Because these guys are monsters, and they are one of the most dangerous and most serious BMW rivals of all times, even despite their Porsche and other brands. These guys from Mercedes, right now they're deep in shit. And it's not only an E63 that lost to BMW. They lost all of these battles. They lost with Maybachs and GLSs. Right now these guys are standing on their knees. But I'm sure it won't take long. And pretty soon in the nearest future, Mercedes, without any doubts, will definitely beat all the shit out of BMW for all these years. Believe me, we are on the edge of a very interesting battle between these two brands. I mean, a battle of technologies. I've got no ideas what Volkswagen Group is doing right now, but it seems that they're just picking their noses. Because only now, in June, you can order and get a new RS6, as they say, performed in a new body, and already in September, it's going to be discontinued. My applause to Audi representatives. They have shit their pants once again. And of course the Volkswagen Group dealerships will say that we don't know anything about it. We're not responsible for brand's actions. Alrighty then, that's on your conscience. But we, your customers, didn't get that opportunity to have enough fun with RS6 and to compare them, though I'm more than sure that the new Audi RS6 is quite a decent automobile.